Hi everyone, this is Holly from Hot Humble Pie. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and a big warm hello to my subscribers. I love you guys. Well, today we are doing 8 heart-themed DIYs that can be kept up all year round. And as always, I hope you enjoy the show. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you click that button. For this one, I started off with some packing foam that I got in something I ordered from Amazon. I keep everything. So it is that foam that has a lot of little white balls, but if you go really slow and cut, it wasn't that bad. So I went ahead and cut out a huge heart shape. It's pretty big. I think it's like 18 inches high at the highest point here. And then I cut out some foam board from the Dollar Tree to put on the top so that my surface was nice and smooth. Now, because we are dealing with foam, I chose to use cold glue and just let it set up because I didn't want, if you've worked with foam before, if you use hot glue, you'll burn a hole down in there, so it doesn't really adhere really well. So most of this project was done with cold glue or Mod Podge, and that worked perfect. It was fine. Next, we're going to be using this garden fence from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to be cutting it with the tin snippers. This was the best method I found to cut these. So you're going to cut out that shape right there to start with, and then I just took little bits and pieces here and there and decided to add to it. So you can do whatever you want to fill in the little blank spaces. I just didn't want quite as many blank spaces. I mean, this would even be pretty just with a simple less is more approach, where you just put one of these in the middle, that's it, and then do some kind of pretty border, maybe with beads or something, like half beads. That would also look really pretty. But I wanted the whole thing to have a 3D look, and this is what I came up with right here when we were all done. So to hold those on, again, because we're working with foam, I went with Mod Podge because Mod Podge is a little stronger than regular school glue. It has more of a plastic type chemical. They actually add plastic into it, and I've shown on my previous videos how you can just peel that off and it's like a sheet, a really thin sandwich bag basically, but it is a much more durable hold. At least that was what I had available. You can always use a stronger glue, but that's what I had available. So I went ahead and stayed with the Mod Podge, and that also allowed me to adjust the pieces where I wanted them at the perfect angle, and then I just put a heavy box on top of it and let it dry. Once it was dry, I went ahead and gave it a coat of the chalk paint in the color Plaster. It's Waverly. And I did a lot of debating whether or not I wanted to dry brush this because, when we work with the Dollar Tree tiles, at least with me, I often dry brush over because the designs that are kind of puffed up are subtle. So to bring them out some more, I dry brush, but these are so chunky that you don't really need to dry brush them because there's already so many natural shadows happening. So after sitting and staring at it for about an hour, about an hour, I decided I'm just going to leave it all creamy one color. I think that looks best. This is actually going to hang in my hallway. And to solve the side problem where we don't want people knowing it's made out of foam, I just took my old trick and I put some of the joint compound on the side. Once it dries, I will sand that down. And then to hang it, again, wet glue. I used wood glue this time and put some duct tape over it, and then put a heavy, I have a heavy Waverly container on there to keep the string really tight because you don't want to see it come up from behind when you hang it. Although this isn't heavy, so it shouldn't stretch too much. And there's 2 staples in there that I did with a staple gun just for extra strength. Now you see those sides right there. See on the side of where you cut the garden fence, there's always like little open areas when you split them in the areas where they're connected. That's unavoidable. I don't like that. You can leave it if you want to, but this is going to hang in my hallway, like I said, and you are going to see that. So what I'm going to do is go to the Dollar Tree and get some of the caulking that they sell in the red tube and just squirt it in there and fill it in so it's all cohesive. But this came up so beautiful. It's hanging in my hallway right now, and I absolutely love this. Let me know what you think. For this project, I cut out a heart shape like a wreath, I guess, out of the cardboard. And then I'm just taking the craft sticks, the smaller ones, and I'm putting them all over wherever I can. I even cut some of them to give this more thickness, I guess, and more substance, more weight. And I'm going to do it on the front and the back of the heart. Next, I'm just using plain old masking tape. You can use any kind of tape you want. It would work for this, but I'm going to cover the entire heart in the masking tape. It's going to give it more of a flat surface. And so I kind of overlap on the tape as well, but that's what it looks like when we're all done. Next, I mean, you're not really going to see that the surface is kind of uneven with this anyway, and even if you did, it would add to the charm. Next, I'm going to paint it white. Now, I'm just putting this in there to show you what I did, but then I changed my mind and thought, oh no, I want to do something else with this heart. So I painted it black. So you can skip the white part if you want, just go straight to the black. Blow dried it. Then I'm going to use regular old school glue, and I'm going to squirt it all over this and paint it and cover this with the school glue. For those of you that have watched my channel before, you might guess here we're going to do like a crackle medium effect on this heart. That kind of, that's why I was talking about the surface being uneven. It doesn't matter, because with the crackle effect, it's just going to add to the look and make it look even better. So I blow dry it till it's just tacky. So it's not wet anymore. So you can paint it with your brush and not get glue on your brush. That's the trick. You just when you touch it, it's kind of sticky. And then I covered the whole thing again with, I used chalk paint, and it was folk art chalk paint. I have the link down below in my description box if you're interested in the one that I got from Amazon. And then after that, I just took my heat gun, which is really just like a blow dryer. I mean, you can use a blow dryer for this. And I just dried it and waited for the cracks to appear. And when they all appeared, we were all done. The next part to this is decorating it. Now, I didn't have enough cardboard because I did so many cardboard crafts in this video, but normally, honestly, if I, had enough cardboard, I would have cut out 5 of those hearts and then put probably the tumbling tower blocks in between and made this really chunky and thick, so it was like an inch thick. I think that would have looked even better. It still came out very pretty, and I decided to keep it just in the green and white theme here. All of these florals are from Dollar Tree except for the boxwood. That I got really cheap because I got a whole bunch for like $9.99. The link is down below in my description box if you're interested, from Amazon. But I just feel that would be even prettier if you can make it chunkier. I just ran out of cardboard, so you could do either or. And this is it. And I'm going to put it in the middle of my eucalyptus wreath on my front door. So for this project, I am using that metal heart that I found at the Dollar Tree, but I wanted to let you know I made something just as beautiful in the video right here from the top lid of a box of chocolates. It's that video right there if you want to check it out for some more additional ideas in case you can't find this metal heart at the Dollar Tree. I will leave the link down below in the description box. So we're just taking some of the scrapbook paper, and you can use anything you want here to fill this heart in. I just wanted some ticking stripe in pink because I thought that was pretty. I would have liked cream too, but they didn't have any cream in that package. So I went with what I had, traced it out. We're using our trusty glue stick there. Again, applying very generously to glue this in. And then we're just adding some flowers. I went with lavender because I actually think, for all of you French country people out there who love my French country videos, this would make a great French country decor piece all year round. So I wanted to give it a little bit of a French twist. So that's what we're doing. We added the lavender, and then it has a hole in the top. You can puncture the candy, the chocolate box lid if you choose to go that route. And I went ahead and put some twine through it. That's the Dollar Tree little keys that you can buy. They're so cute. And I just tied it at the top and put some hearts down. Now for the base, because I want to hold this up, I'm using one of the Dollar Tree wooden squares that you can buy in a package. I'm going to be placing mine on top of a riser that I switch things out all year round. And I'll make it here in this video as well, so you'll see how I made it. But I don't want to glue it directly on the riser because it will damage it. So to give it a base, because it wouldn't stand up on its own, I'm using this little cheap piece of wood. However, if you don't have a riser, then I would go to the Dollar Tree and buy one of their wooden rounds that are really nice and make like a really pretty base for this. You could put wooden beads around it, make it really fancy, or put little round wooden bead legs on it to kind of lift it up. Use your imagination and have fun. But I'm going this route, and I'm just covering it with the Spanish moss, giving it a good trim, and then we're going to go ahead and glue it, we're going to go ahead and make our riser for this. So this is just 2 wood rounds I got from Walmart. Each of those wood rounds are $1, so they're actually cheaper than the Dollar Tree. It's in the crafting section. I'm taking some wood beads, hot gluing it down, securing each one with some wood glue to make sure they don't go anywhere over time. And then to further secure it, I use some of the wood glue and dot it on top of just beads here and there, and then I'm using hot glue so it's a permanent hold, and I'm going to put the other one on top. Then using one of the candlestick holders from the Dollar Tree, I'm going to get it in the center there, and I do that just by sliding it around on one of the cutting mats so it's nice and slippery. Once I have my middle, I trace it, use some super glue and a little bit of hot glue. You've probably seen this before when you see DIYs. We always use a little hot glue because we want to keep moving. If you're not filming, you could always just stop and do all of the super glue, or wreath 6000 is another really good one for a permanent hold. This has stayed, so far I'm really happy. And I'm just going to glue the bottom down. Next, I give this a coat of paint with the plaster color from Waverly Chalk Paint. Even the antique parchment color from Apple Barrel Paint would work for this, but I do have glass on the bottom there, and the Waverly Chalk Paint does tend to stick a little bit better. And if you make my homemade chalk paint recipe, just use a higher quality paint as your base paint before you add the chalk paint ingredients in there, and that would work as well. You just want something maybe like a primer instead. So I'm just doing different coats here. I start off with the parchment color, then I do white, then I do a little bit of gray, and this is definitely, you just kind of have to eye it. I even add a little bit of brown in there, that's territorial beige. But this is my riser, and I put it on top, and I'm gonna display it like this on my shelf. I'm using some really pretty vintage paper that I purchased in a package. I want to say it was from Temu, but it might have been from Amazon. I'm so sorry. I don't remember now where I got that. But it has like little letter stamps on it, which I thought was so cute because I was thinking it kind of goes with the theme of love letters in the mail. So I purposely cut it out so you can see the stamps and the postmark on there. I just thought that was so cute. But if you Google, you can find tons of free printables with vintage backgrounds on it. So you could choose whatever you want for this. I used my glue stick, glued it down on the Dollar Tree little house, took the Dollar Tree heart right here, tracing it out to get a heart shape. So we're not going to use that wooden heart. We're just using it as a template. And I'm taking these buttons. Now these were definitely from Temu. They're so cute. And I'm going to fill it all in with buttons. This is something I have seen for years where people make heart shaped, with buttons. And I thought it was so cute. I have always wanted to try this. I never have. It is a little bit tricky when you're using printed buttons like this and not one color, because you do have to space them out so you don't have the same pattern right next to each other, because you don't want like a repetitive corner that just looks the same. So it did take a while, but I think the results came out absolutely adorable. And I am keeping the bows on these DIYs simple this year. I just thought less is more. That's the look I was going for. So I just used a twine bow, and I'm going to put a little tiny flower. Those are also from Temu up at the top there. This twine on the top is also from Temu. You can use twine from the Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just covering the little rooftop there. And then this is a piece of wood, believe it or not, that came in some packaging with some furniture that I purchased off of Amazon. It was just packing filler, I guess. And there were, I think, 8 pieces. And I thought, oh, this would be great for crafting because they're, for a stand. So I went ahead and kept them, and I painted them with the plaster chalk paint. And then I decided to go ahead and add more of that twine ribbon, or it's actually burlap ribbon. Add more burlap ribbon on top of the little rooftop, I guess, on the sign, and to also put it around the side of what's going to be the base. And again, this is going on that corner shelf. It's going to be kind of higher up on the second shelf down, so you're not really going to see the base, but I didn't want the little house with my heart on to fall and tip if it got bumped. So that's how we handled that. And I just glued it on top. And then I decided to take one of these Dollar Tree hearts because I felt like it was missing something. I kind of wanted, like, it looked like a heart window, and I thought another cute little heart window. I was thinking chimney. It just seemed like it was missing something at the top. So I added the heart, and we're all done. For this next project, and this is one I have shown in other, it's a DIY hack that I have shown in other videos, and I love this one, and I thought this will be so cool to try on a cardboard heart. It's kind of a really quick faux wood bark look. Gives it your project a lot of texture. You just use tissue, regular old Kleenex tissue, and you take it apart. So there's like the 2 ply there. You want to just use 1 layer. You could probably use 2 if you wanted to. I just use 1. And you give it a quick little spritz of water, and you watch it crinkle up. That's the magic. And then you take some spray glue. I use the one from the Dollar Tree, and you spray it so that it stays. So you could also use, I have used watered down glue, where I kind of do 50% glue, 50% water in that bottle and shake it up. It also works. And then you saw me drying it, and now we're going to paint it. And you can see it has lots of texture there, and it automatically also covers the side of your cardboard, which is really handy when you're doing cardboard crafts and you want them to look nice and expensive, to get the tissue around the edge of it, because that way it covers it and you paint it and it looks like a regular, like maybe a ceramic craft or just something you would buy at a store. So now I took some of the creamy color there that was the chalk paint in plaster. Then I did gray, the apple barrel gray, pewter gray, and I did territorial beige next. So what I would do different if I had to do this again, I was trying to get a different looking bark, kind of one that was more dirty. Not dirty looking, that's the wrong word, just weathered. But I was thinking afterwards, I would have rather used white. So if you want it to look like a birchwood more, you're definitely going to want to stick with the base color being white, and then go with the gray and the browns. And it doesn't really matter what color, gray and browns, just get it as close as you can to the ones you see here. But it just gives you a nice quick faux wood. It looks really pretty. So now I'm just putting on the little garnishes. I put a ribbon sideways, and I decided to go for that look where you wrap the twine sideways, which by the way is a bit tricky because you do have to glue it in place. Otherwise it slides off your heart. So there is a little bit of glue on each one of those strands on both sides to hold that in place. And then I'm taking some of the twine and I'm just going to tie it in the middle to give it another look. After I tie it in a knot, I'm going to wrap it around just twice, secure it with a dot of glue, and call it a day. So to add some nice weight to this project and to prevent it from warping, I am going to go ahead and glue some craft sticks on the back. I always use the little ones because they're kind of thicker and heavier in my opinion, and they do a great job at keeping everything really stiff in the back. So next I'm using some of the Dollar Tree ribbon that I found. It looks almost like netting. It comes in a rusty color and it comes in this cream color, and I'm going to tie 2 bows. So I did one bow at the top there in the right hand corner of the heart. Now I'm tying the next bow, and then I'm going to lay them just crisscross, like a cross on top of each other to make like a little flower formation. You see me doing it right there. I'm gluing it down, and that's how I made my bow for this one. And then I'm using these little Dollar Tree hearts that I found last year at the Dollar Tree. I did not see them this year. That doesn't mean they weren't there. I didn't visit every single Dollar Tree, but I love those hearts. I think the petals look so realistic and they're very subtle. So they're perfect for crafting. And then I'm using these little tiny wooden beads that I got from Temu. You can also get them on Amazon. They're really small, and I'm going to make a hanger, and we're all done. Another Dollar Tree find is this home sign. It's supposed to be something you hang up on the wall, but I'm going to go ahead and make it a stand-up decor piece. And surprisingly, it has like a thin sheet of veneer wood on it, and it has a lot of splinters and little frayed edges. So I did have to take a nail file and file that all off. And then I went ahead and I used half beads. These are half beads I got from Amazon. The link will be down below in my description box. And I just decided kind of beef up that heart a little bit. I thought that was pretty. So I edged the hearts with the beads. I just glued them around. It's funny how just adding a little detail like that too made this look so much more expensive. Now it looks like it comes from a craft home store. But then I dry brushed it with white paint, and that was it. And I think this is so cute and so simple. So this is actually how I make all of my hearts. Anytime I do hearts like this for cardboard, I only trace half of it for a template in different sizes, and then I just flip it over and do the other half so that I have symmetry. So I just wanted to put that in there just in case somebody's curious. I never do good hearts otherwise. They're always lopsided, which sometimes can be cute, but it's not what I wanted for these DIYs. So I'm using this quilt batting, and I'm just cutting it out and then gluing it on top of the cardboard because I wanted my heart to be a little bit puffy. You could use filling from an old pillow, from an old quilt. Again, use your imagination, even cotton. But use your imagination, just have fun with this. And of course, we're going to cut it to match the shape of the heart. And then after we're all done with that, we're going to go ahead and cover it with some cloth. So now we're doing the material. I did want to share a little life hack. It's kind of a craft hack too, because I use it for everything when I'm too lazy to whip out my iron. So when I'm sewing, I do iron because you have to iron when you sew. But I just use a water bottle and squirt, mist my wrinkles out. Basically, it's like a cold steam. And it works. I mean, there's a Dollar Tree cutting mat under there so that my surface doesn't get soaking wet, and I just spray the wrinkles out and then dry it, and we're all done. So I just wanted to let you guys know that's how I got the wrinkles out of the cloth. And this is some Dollar Tree material that I found, but again, you could use old shirts, you could use anything you can find around the house. It would all work. And I just trace it out, but I do leave a border there. You can see that I leave enough material, especially where the heart curves in the center. You want to be really careful to not cut a big slit there because otherwise the cardboard will show. And then I just slit it all the way around the edge and glue those little slits down, and we cover the heart. Next, there's this little faux lace doily that they sell at the Dollar Tree. You don't often find them. This was a fluke that I found this because it was in a weird place. It was a weird Dollar Tree in the middle of a city that I never go to. And I just saw it and I went, ooh, I'm grabbing those, because you hardly ever find them. So if you can't find them, don't stress, but you can use any piece of lace you want, or you can use another piece of material down there. Again, have fun, just use your imagination. And I'm just going to hot glue this on at the bottom. I was debating whether or not I should cover the whole heart with the faux lace, but I thought that might be overkill, so I just went with just a little tiny bit halfway down. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to know your thoughts. But now I'm using the antique wax. Any antique wax will work for this, and I'm just going to distress this heart a little bit to make it look more vintage. I really didn't know what I wanted to do with this heart. This took time, but here's a great trick. When you see those little head wraps for little girls at the Dollar Tree, grab them because they make great little garnishes for your DIYs. I went ahead and used the white one on this, and I'm just pulling it around the heart, for a decor piece. And then this heart ribbon lace, which this is at most Dollar Trees that I've been to, so you should be able to find this. It's great if you want to make heart DIYs or heart decor around your house. I'm just gluing that underneath to add a little bit more of an accent. Now I'm just going to go ahead and take the glue gun and tack this down, like the ribbon, and also the elastic on that little headband. That did wiggle, and I recommend that you definitely tack it down with some glue so that it will stay in place. Next, I took a Dollar Tree pearl and I glued one in the middle of that little circle, I don't know what that is. I don't think it's a bow. I'm not sure what to call that. But I wanted the bow on the top here that I added to have some more loops, so I decided to go ahead and make them you know, I just makeshifted this. I mean, if you know how to tie a double bow, that would be easier, but I just want to let you know in case you noticed that I did add some extra loops in there afterwards. And I've had these pearls for so long that I just want to use them up on something, and I thought it would be pretty to add some more garnish on this. This definitely takes it more from like a country look to a French country look. I mean, for my style, probably I should have not put any pearls on, but I wanted to use them up, and I do think it came up very, very pretty. If you want to do more of a glamorous or more of a vintage type decor in your home, it's perfect for that with the pearls, definitely. So I decided to use some more of the Dollar Tree lace to make a hanger on the back, and I don't know if you noticed, I also glued a little white flower in the center of that bow, and now I'm just adding one of the Dollar Tree keys to this because it's a perfect craft for that. And look at all the keys. If you find those are so cute. Be sure to pick them up. They're great for crafting, but I think this came up so pretty. For this project, I'm using 4 cardboard hearts, and I'm going to be using the scrapbook paper I got from Temu. So I just took a Dollar Tree long board. It was a Christmas sign, and I'm doing a dry brushing to make it look distressed and vintage, and once I like where it's at, and remember most of this is going to be covered, so I wasn't too weird about it, but once I got it where I wanted it to be, I'm using my glue stick, again, heavily and generously so that the paper won't come off, and I just go about gluing each piece of scrapbook paper onto each one of the hearts. So I started to put a border of twine around the hearts and trim all the loose hairs off, and then I decided I just didn't like it. It made something that was very soft, it suddenly looked kind of harsh, and I didn't have any white trim. I think that would have been okay if I had some like thin white like ribbon, or maybe like a round cylinder shape like the butcher's twine, really tiny like that in white. That would have been okay, but I didn't have it, so I just went ahead and left it, because where I'm going to have this sign displayed, it's going to be on a shelf in the corner where no one's going to see the side anyway, but normally I do recommend you cover the sides if it's cardboard. And then the board was a little bit longer than I wanted for these hearts, so I went ahead and took my metal clippers there, they're wonderful, the tin snips, and I went ahead and trimmed off the edge of the sign. And then I decided it didn't look quite distressed enough, so I took my crafting knife and I just scraped off the paint here and there to make it look a little bit more chippy. Next, I'm taking my flame there and just singeing off the little extra hairs. I don't do it too much because I don't want to weaken that piece of thread, and I'm actually not hanging it, but I wanted the option. For now, the hanger's just going to hang behind the sign. It's up on top of a shelf, like a corner hutch, so I'm just leaning it, but I just wanted to leave that just in case I want to hang it in the future. And then I added some little twine bows, and we're all done. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And as always, until the next video, breathe deep, fret not, and do things that make you happy.